Since 1890, the United States has been the undisputed largest economy in the world. Year after year, decade after decade, no country has consistently produced more economic value than America. At the time of this video, the US produces more than 30 trillion worth of goods and services per year. That counts coffees, medical drugs, cars, planes, and anything else you can think of. And so in this video, we will explain 8 of the many reasons why the US is currently the richest country on the planet. Let's get into it. The first reason is because the United States dominates almost every major industry on Earth. A lot of people think America is only rich because of tech companies like Apple or Google, but the truth is much bigger than that. The US is strong in basically all 11 major sectors of the economy, which means it doesn't rely on just one thing to stay rich. For example, some countries depend heavily on oil, others depend on tourism or manufacturing, but America wins in many industries at once. Let's start with the industries where the US is completely dominant. First, technology. America is home to some of the biggest tech companies in the world, like Apple, Microsoft, or Nvidia. Even if products are built elsewhere, a huge amount of the profits, ideas, and control still come back to the United States. Then there's healthcare. America dominates medical innovation more than most people realize. Companies like Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Eli Lilly create medicines used all over the world. Not only that, but the US also has many of the world's best hospitals and medical research institutions. Hence, why many people with rare or complicated health situation travel to the US for special and advanced care. If that wasn't enough, America also dominates communication services. Basically, how the modern world communicates and entertains itself. Google controls online search and YouTube. Meta owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Netflix changed how billions of people watch movies and shows. That means America isn't just selling products, it's literally shaping worldwide habits. But that doesn't stop there. The United States also has massive advantages in industries like consumer spending, finance, industrials, real estate, energy, consumer staples, and materials. Since I don't want to lose you with every sector, I'll just mention some companies so you get the overall idea. Think Amazon for shopping, Tesla for electric cars, McDonald's for fast food, Wall Street for the stock market, Boeing for airplanes, Caterpillar for construction and mining machine, New York and LA for real estate investment, oil to fuel cars, Coca-Cola for soft drinks, and you get the idea. America dominates or is a major power everywhere you can think of economically. This leaves us to the second reason, and it is because the United States is still the second biggest manufacturing power in the world. A lot of people think America doesn't make things anymore. They imagine factories disappearing and assume everything is built in China now. But that's not true. Yes, China is the #1 manufacturing country today by a huge margin. But what surprises many people is that the United States still ranks second globally. The difference is that America often manufactures expensive, advanced things instead of cheap products. The US produces airplanes, military equipment, pharmaceuticals, computer chips, medical devices, machinery, chemicals, and advanced technology. Think about companies like Boeing, Intel, Lockheed Martin, or even Tesla. They all produce high-value product where one sales makes tons of revenue. In other words, America doesn't just manufacture more stuff, it manufactures high-profit stuff. One advanced jet engine can be worth more than thousands of cheap consumer products. And when you combine that with a massive domestic economy, America remains an industrial giant. The third reason is because high salaries attract the best talent from around the world. Think about it. If you're a brilliant doctor, scientist, engineer, entrepreneur, or software developer living somewhere else in the world, where are some of the highest salaries? Very often, the answer is the United States. American companies simply pay more than most countries can offer. That means ambitious people often move to America to build careers. Scientists come for research opportunities. Entrepreneurs come to raise money. Engineers come for better jobs. Doctors come for higher incomes. Students from top universities often stay after graduating because the opportunities are so much bigger here than in their home country. And this creates a domino effect. The smartest people help create successful companies. Those companies make more money. Then they attract even more talented people. Over time, that results in America becoming stronger economically. And speaking of smart people, if you're a serious person about your finances, in the video description of this video, you'll find links to order budget planners on Amazon. These books help you track your income and expenses on a daily or monthly basis. to help you figure out where you can make extra savings or use your free time to make more money. If you end up buying one using one of these links, it would directly support the channel as well. Now let's get back to the video. The fourth reason the US is so rich is because it leads the world in funding startups. Every year, an enormous share of global startup investment flows into the United States. Depending on the year, around half of the world's venture capital money often goes into American startups. China usually comes second, but often far behind, sometimes receiving only around a fifth or even less of global startup funding. Now don't get me wrong, most of them fail, but the secret is that only one needs to succeed to make a dent in the world. One means a Google, an Amazon, a Facebook, a Tesla, or even an OpenAI. The payoff is ridiculously high. Let's carry on with a fifth reason. And here, it is because America has a huge population and an enormous consumer market. The United States has over 340 million people, and more importantly, many of them are wealthy consumers. That means companies can become gigantic just by selling to Americans alone. In many countries, businesses eventually run out of customers because the population is smaller or people simply don't have enough spending power. In America, a company can be worth billions without even expanding outside the borders. You can literally sell food, clothes, apps, subscriptions, cars, or entertainment to only Americans, and suddenly you're running a giant business. That kind of scale gives companies huge advantages over the rest of the world. Not only that, but it is also why it attracts foreign companies in the first place. The sixth reason is because the United States controls the world's reserve currency, meaning it is the most used currency on the planet. Around the globe, not only do countries trade oil in dollars, but governments actually store dollars in reserves, as well as businesses use dollars for international transactions. That means if the UK buys oil from Saudi Arabia, the transaction is in US dollar. If someone in Dubai sells a service to someone in Japan, the Japanese pays in dollars. That means that even in France, the government has US dollars stored in reserve. And because of that trust worldwide, America can borrow money more cheaply than almost any country. That gives America a huge advantage. More precisely, it helps fund infrastructure, scientific research, social programs, and yes, one of the strongest militaries on Earth. If the world trusts your currency more than anyone else's, you get financial advantages that other countries simply don't have. The seventh reason America is so rich is because it has access to 2 oceans. Yes, geography matters way more than people think. The United States sits between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. That means it can trade relatively easily with both Europe and Asia, which are 2 of the most important economic regions in the world. On one side, massive trade with most of Europe. On the other side, a huge access to Asian markets like Japan, South Korea, and China. Not only that, but America also has enormous rivers, fertile farmland, natural resources, and ports that make moving goods easier. Compared to countries stuck between hostile neighbors or limited coastlines, the US won the geographic lottery in many ways. The 8th reason, though many people will argue this one, is because of political stability. Yes, at the time of this video, the nation is arguably a political mess. But here's the important thing to not undermine. The core institutions have remained stable for centuries. Businesses know contracts will usually be enforced. The investors generally trust the legal system. The property rights are protected most of the time, and elections happen regularly. Yes, governments change, but the overall system stays standing. And that stability matters more than people realize. Imagine trying to build a billion-dollar company in a country where laws constantly change overnight, where money is stolen from investors, or where businesses get destroyed by civil war. Yeah, you don't want that. And that's not the case of the US, at least for now. And so you now understand that the US is the richest country on Earth, not only because of its dominance in almost every aspect of business, but also because of its worldwide reputation, huge consumer population, and long-lasting political stability. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more similar content, give this video a like, subscribe to it, and watch one of the other videos showing on your screen right now. I'll see you on the next one.